What is up guys, Andy Forest Runner here, and today I'm excited to announce my 2020 running goals, but before we do that, we've got a recap on what we set in 2019. So it's that time of year again, boys and girls. We've reached the end of 2019. Absolute madness. Where the hell have these 12 months gone? And we're back recording our 2020 goals video. Super excited for next year. Lots happening family-wise, work-wise and running-wise. So we're going to go through all my 2020 goals very shortly, and there'll be a slight change in the way we set our goals for next year because lots is going to be happening. But of course, as I said, we have to recap 2019's goals, which we will do in just a second. I have to say, brace yourselves. I don't know what planet I was on when I set these 2019 goals, but there's going to be a lot of red crosses and failures. I don't know what I was thinking, but you'll see and you'll probably have a good chuckle to yourself in a second. So there's going to be lots that we're going to be doing today, lots of fun goals as well that we're going to be setting, serious ones. 2019 has been such an amazing year. Best year I've had in a long time, family, personal and running wise, and I really just want to roll into 2020 with the same mentality, same attitude, no pressure, and enjoy the running year next year. So enough waffle from me here. Let's go through my 2019 running goals. Did we achieve them? Okay, so back from another beautiful trail run out in the Forest Dean this morning, ready for a good laugh. Let's go through these 2019 goals before we jump into 2020. Roll the clips. 2,200 miles for next year. Yes, I didn't hit the 2,000 this year. However, I want to do 2,200. I want to keep that progression. I want to keep raising the bar. Yeah, no, the bar wasn't raised. In fact, the bar barely moved. Well, that's probably being a little bit harsh. In 2018, we ran 1,850 odd miles, and I wanted to take a really big jump, keep that progression going, because I think I went from 1,200 to 1,500 to 1,850, and I was expecting that this year I could get 2,200. We did, in fact, break the 2,000 barrier. We just didn't quite get to 2,200. I think we've run around about 2,070 odd miles, but it wasn't 2,200, therefore that is a big fat fail. A 1:17 half marathon. 1:17. I'm very aware it is diminishing returns as you... Yes, Andy, you are right. It is indeed diminishing returns, and I have absolutely no idea why you thought on a relatively similar mileage and a similar training schedule that you could knock 3 minutes off your half marathon time. I've got no idea what I was thinking. That was a definite big fat fail. We did get a PB. It still hasn't even broken 80 minutes yet, but we've got 1:20:31, so we're still 3.5 minutes away. So again, another big fat fail. A sub 35 10k. That is 1.5 minutes off the goal that we set this year, and we didn't even make the goal. Yeah, no, that didn't happen either. We've run about 6 or 7 10Ks this year. We haven't even broken 36 minutes, let alone breaking 35. Do you see what I mean now? Boys and girls, I don't know what planet I was on when I was making these goals, but again, that was another big fat fail. Good for age marathon time.
I want that sub 3. Obviously we have the Newport Marathon booked. At the end of May we are going to have our first attempt. First goal achieved, baby. No, it wasn't done on the first attempt at the Newport Marathon, but we did it by 12 seconds at the Abingdon Marathon. That is the first tick and the first goal of 2019 achieved. 2 bonus goals will carry over. I want to run a 5k race. I hate 5ks with a passion, but I want to be in the pack of a 5k race. I want to be racing with people. It's all well and good doing these time trials, and as much as they hurt and it's horrible, I hate it. I need to be in a racing environment. I need to see what I can do. So, goal achieved, baby. Raced in a pack, Hereford 5k, 16:58, job done. I want to push myself outside of my comfort zone. This is probably going to be another trail marathon, but it's going to be a trail marathon maybe a bit further afield, potentially an ultra, I don't know. Nope, no trail marathon, certainly no ultra, and nothing really that pushed me outside of my comfort zone. So again, another fail. So by my calculations, I make that 2 out of 6 running goals in 29 achieved. Now, I know that might sound and look quite negative, but I've got to look at the bigger picture. A, I set myself some ridiculous goals last year. I don't know what I was thinking. And B, I've seen some massive improvements in my running this year, all round, not just my paces, my performances, but my form and my technique, and everything is slowly clicking into place. So I'm not going to be too hard on myself. 2019 has been an amazing year, but in terms of the goals we set, it didn't go very well. So it's on to 2020. We're going to set ourselves some more realistic goals, some fun goals as well. Let's dive into what those are going to be. Right, now for the good stuff. 2020 running goals. There are 6 of them that I have set myself. 4 of them are relatively serious, and 2 that are kind of fun, challengey type things that I want to do and achieve before the end of the year. And what we're going to do is we're going to dive right into number 1, and I'm going to state now that my first goal for 2020 is that I would like to PB in the following distances: the 5k, the 10k, the half marathon and the marathon. I anticipate running all of those distances competitively in 2020, but the difference this year is I'm not going to set myself a time. If you're new to the channel, you might have missed the announcement that I am due my 3rd child, not me personally, my wife. We are due our 3rd child in February, which means that the reality is the first 3, 4, 5 months of next year is going to be all about maintenance. I don't intend to push my running a whole heap. It's going to have to wait until the second half of the year. Hence why I have no intention of setting any time goals. I do not want the pressure that I set myself this year, especially when I'll be sitting in this seat this time next year, looking back and laughing at myself for the times that I have set. So I want to PB in all 4 of those distances. It doesn't matter if that PB is by 1 second, 1 minute, 5 minutes, whatever it is. I will be running each of those distances competitively next year, and I will aim to PB in all of them. The current PBs are 16:58 for the 5k, 36:01 for the 10k, 1:20 and 31 seconds for the half marathon, and 2:59 for 2:59:48 for the marathon. So there we go, we have laid down the gauntlet for those distances. Goal number 2 is going to be another mileage goal. Yes, this is actually going to be a physical target. I'm going to set myself once again 2,000 miles. I see no difference in the way that I'm going to be running next year. If anything, it's going to be more difficult to try and achieve the 2,000 miles, which is why there's no point in me sitting here saying that I am going to try and run more miles, because I know the reality is that in the beginning of the year that is not going to be happening. Those 40 to 50 mile weeks that I tend to run will be out the window for a good month or 2. Very low mileage, getting out as and when I can. So we're going to stick in maintenance mode. We are going to shoot for another 2,000 miles. What has served me really well this year is consistency being key. Just being consistent throughout the years, it's allowed me to run injury-free, touch wood, for the most of the part, and ultimately the gradual progression in the mileage has done me well. But as I said, next year we'll stick at it. 2,000 miles will be the challenge. Goal number 3 is going to be to run at least 2 trail races. It doesn't matter what distance, I just want to run 2 trail races next year, or this year I should say. For me personally, this year has been very much road focus. I've been focusing on speed, and I've kind of neglected some of the trail races. I've done some of the best races I've ever had have been on the trails. I train on the trails, but I tend to race on the roads because I'm at the moment chasing that speed. But sometimes we forget the beauty of the nature that is just on our doorstep, and actually it can be a breath of fresh air and great to break up the monotony of the pavement pounding and the tarmac road running and just get out on the trails and have fun out there. So next year, at least 2 trail races will be run. And finally, the 4th serious goal is going to be kind of following on from goal number 3, to run a bigger variety of races. And what do I mean by that? So basically I want to have a better balance, a better ratio of road to trail races next year. I certainly don't want it to be as road dominated as it has been, and I don't want to be afraid to mix up the distances. This year I've been very fixated in particular on the 10k, which I love, and I want that to predominantly be a big focus next year along with the half marathon, but I don't want to be afraid to just go out and see if there's a local event on that's an obscure distance or whatever it might be. I just want to go and run it. I don't want to be focusing on the 4 distances that I set myself the PB challenge for in goal number 1. The variety is going to be all the other races in between that I set myself, just challenges, especially some of the longer races. I know in last year's goals video I certainly set myself a challenge by running at least 1 trail marathon and maybe an ultra, and although that was a ridiculous thing to set myself, looking back, I would love to try and do a trail marathon this year. And as I said, just have a bigger variety, whether that's 10-mile events, 15, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22-mile events, whatever it might be. I just want to get a better variety in my running calendar. And now on to the 2 fun goals. This first one's going to be more fun for me than it is for you, and the second one will be more fun for you visually. So this first one, if those of you who have noticed on follow me on Strava, I've started doing a local park run to me. There's a park run that started called Mallard's Pike Park Run. It is literally 4 miles down the road from me, so I can get out the front door, jog down to park run. It takes me about 35 minutes to get down there, do the park run and get home. Now Mallard's Pike Park Run is not flat. 1.8 or 1.75 miles is solid uphill, and then you come back down the other side. It's not it's a loop course. It's not an out and back. There's a tiny bit more up than there is down, and I've been in relatively good shape when I've tried this park run twice this year, and I've run in the 18:20s, bearing in mind, as I said, my road PR for a 5k is 16:58, so it's a challenging course. And I'm going to attempt to break 18 minutes on it next year. Now, as I said, it might not seem a massive goal for you guys out there, but for me, I just think it might be something fun. It's going to keep me going to the park run. I enjoy the spirit of the park run. I haven't ever done a park run before until this year. I'm enjoying the spirit and the camaraderie of getting together on a Saturday morning with a load of people and going out, having a bit of fun. To be honest with you, I know they say it's not a race, it's a bit, you know, and people joke that it's a bit of a park race. I've got to be honest, the 2 times I've been down there, I've tried quite hard, and I'll continue to do that. So for me personally, that's going to be a fun little goal next year. And the second goal is that I want to get a challenge video recorded. I've got a couple of challenges in my mind that I've had in my mind. I've been talking to James about for like 2 years now. Both of us have had these ideas, and I've just run out of time to get them recorded. I need to get tables set up. I need to find a quiet track for us to go and do these challenges on. I need to make sure the people that I ask to do the challenges have cameras. There's so much that's going to go into it, but I want to get a challenge video recorded in 2020. So those are my 2 fun extra goals. So that's it, those are my goals for 2020. I'd love to hear what your goals are in the comments below and how you intend on achieving them. What are your PBs? Are you shooting for new PBs? Is it to just stay fit and healthy? I'd love to hear everything. Just let me know and we can get the conversation going. So that's it for today, guys. Wishing you all a very happy new year, prosperous, successful, whatever you wish for. I hope it comes true. Give this video a like if you'd be good enough, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel for weekly running content, and as always, I will see you on the next one. Until then.